Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. Sammy here at Sammy G Stitches, and it's time for a new floss tube. This is a little extra called a WIP Parade. I know they are very prevalent right now. I always record mine at the end of the year, and I'm really excited to share all my projects with you. Now, I will be showing you all of my projects. Some of these you have not seen at all this year because they have been inactive, on hibernation, warming the bench, however you want to think about them not being worked on. A few of them are going to continue so. Some may get to come out of hibernation, and some are going into. I am paring down my actively worked WIPs to make sure I get to touch them all as often as I would like to. There's going to be rules and caveats, and a lot of that's going to come in with plans, but I may mention it a little bit in this video. So I'm going to do my best to give you all the information for each project, but if you have any questions, of course, drop them in the comments below. Let's get started. I have these in no particular order. I piled them up in a bin next to me yesterday, and I didn't set them up in any sort of way. I have two lists because Notions only has the things that I started this year or worked on this year. So I also had to have an older list for some of these things I haven't seen in a bit. So let's get started. First one here, it was an active project this year. In fact, it might have even been, no, I think it was started last year. Let me put this in alphabetical order so that I can at least find them fairly quickly. Okay, so this one was started March 18th of 2023. I bought this on Etsy from Cross Stitch V. I don't know if she's still there or not. I am going to be taking things off the Q-snap and showing you the full picture. That way I can get a fresh picture of them before I put them back up. All right. And I'm going to need a better place to put this because we're going to have an avalanche. All right, so here is the Aristocats. Again, this is from Cross Stitch V over on Etsy. I started it March 18th, 2023. I was going to do page by page, so I did all the black outline on the first page, and then I started to fill in the colors and decided, actually, I kind of want to outline the entire thing before I go filling in colors, so it feels almost like a coloring book. Although that's probably going to bite me when I get to Marie and all the white because, you know, there's black going through, but I just had to be careful. Anyway, so this is Marie on the Aristocats. I believe this one is Toulouse, which is also the name of my cat, and Berlioz is not stitched in yet, I don't think. So I have one more column of pages over here, and then it will be fully outlined. So I'm excited to see where we get to with this in the new year. It is on a 28 count even weave. I'm not quite sure what. I think it was a piece my friend sent me. And so yeah. All right, so I'm gonna set this over here and move on to the next thing. All right, this next one is up at the top. Angel of the New Dawn from Mirabilia. I started this December 27th, 2020. It was going to be a gift for somebody who is no longer in my life. But it's still a beautiful project, and so I'm going to keep going on it. It is on a 32 count Jobelin and Icicle from Under the Sea Fabrics. And it is going into inactive this year. I guess I'm just going to go ahead and go through that. It's been on the Q-snap a little bit. Could use an iron. That's not happening. So here's where I'm at. It's looking really good. So this is Angel of the New Dawn from Mirabilia. And The way I chose the whole inactive thing is if I have more than one by the same designer, one of them stays active, the others stay passive, or yeah, inactive. So that's where it's at. And she's going to go away for a little bit. So. There's that. The StitchNButton bag she's in. Alright, next, just so this pile doesn't fall. I'm not quite sure what this is, but I know it's one of my inactives, so I need to move over to the other list. It's not that one. Oh, maybe I have it on the cards in here. It is that one. Okay. This is Magic Study from Heaven and Earth Designs. It was a limited release. I do know it's other places now. If you wanted a chance to purchase it, I want to say Charting Creations, but I'm not sure. So I started this with a bunch of friends when it first came out. Again, it was a limited edition. In fact, I believe it was bought for me. And I just had to, you know, get the fabric and floss. And I didn't even get the full page that year. I started this one June 16th, 2020. Like I said, with a bunch of my friends. Some have UFO'd it, some have restarted it, some have, like, there's all kinds of things going on with this one. But here is my start. It will be staying inactive because I'm not pulling out any new Hades this year. I'm going to focus on the two that I have and hopefully get one of them completed. So that's where that is. And it's got a lot of fabric. It's either I didn't trim it or it's just a really big project. Okay. I'm going to stick this back in the bag because I'm not taking a before picture of it because it's not coming out of hibernation. So we can put that in a different pile. All right. Next, this is Dark Queen of the Sea from Autumn Lane Stitchery and Under the Sea Fabrics. Okay. It is on the called for fabric, which Under the Sea Fabrics dyed. It's 32 count Joblin and Bewitched. And this one is definitely gonna get worked on this year. I thought about doing it as the project that I divide into 12, but I ultimately opted against that. But I do hope to make some good progress on her. So here's where she's currently at. So she got a whole lot of bottom to get done. There's some stuff up top, but she has big tentacles at the bottom that I need to work on. And those tentacles are a lot. The reason I didn't choose her for the style is because I think even with what's left, dividing her into 12 was going to be too big a chunks for me to focus on every month. So we'll work on her this year and maybe make her a style next year. All right. There's that one. I had to get a squeaky chair. All right, this is one that's been in hibernation and is not coming out because it is a Hade. This is Ornament Fairy Spell. I started this October 7th, 2020. This was a gift from a friend. I am doing this 1/1 tent stitch, I think. No, 2/1 tent stitch. And I'll insert pictures of what it's supposed to look like. So that's where I've gotten to. Again, this is from Heaven and Earth Designs. There's a needle in there. Let's just keep that. I'll have to find that magnet later. So that's where that one is. All right. going back in the bag because it's going to stay there this year. Another inactive. This one is Life's an Open Book Paris from Heaven and Art Designs. When I am ready to pull out another Haid, this is the first one that'll be coming out. Because when my husband and I went to Paris a few years ago, it was the best vacation I've ever been on. There's lots about this project that reminds me of our trip. So it's not a very big start. I started this one November 1st, 2019. Wow. Like right after I went to Paris. And so it definitely, I want this one to get some love soon. It is one of my biggest, so there's that. But that's okay. I want to be working on it. I want the memories. So this is going back in this bag, although I may have a better bag for it at this point. All right. Next is a pretty recent start. This one I started on October 15th, 2024 with my friend Holly. And it is on a fabric. It is on a 32 count Belfast in Supernatural from Silk Weaver. And I think it goes like this. I'm going to fold the fabric in half because I tend to just put it on the fabric and trim later versus cutting it down to size. So this isn't going to be but maybe like this big, and yet I have all this fabric. So this is Edgar from Kitty and Me Designs. It is a black and orange owl. I'll show you a picture. And this is how far I got since October. My goal on any new start is 500 stitches. So this obviously got that, and I think it got a little bit more. So looks really cute, and I can't wait to get back to this. All right, another one from Hibernation, Inactive, whatever you want to call it. This is Once Upon a Fairy Tale from Amy Stewart, charted by Heaven and Art Designs. And it is definite. This is one I'm considering maybe UFOing. If I feel like I'm getting overwhelmed and full coverage just isn't my thing when I get through some of these others, then this one may get UFO'd. But it's coming along really nicely. This is the full size, so it's super big, and I love it. I love it. It's gorgeous, but I just don't know if I love full coverage enough to stitch it. So I'm not UFOing it yet, but it is one I have considered. So, but it's looking really good. So you can actually tell that's an owl versus the one mini that I started to do, and when I realized the white blob on the page was supposed to be an owl, I was like, yeah, no, I can't have blobs that I don't understand. Amy Stewart is one you have to, you don't do the mini. It just does not turn out. You definitely need the full size. All right, and that one I started, what's it called? Fairy Tale. What's it called? Once Upon a Fairy Tale. All right. I started that one on January 4th, 2020. Again, with a bunch of friends. We all started it. All right. Next, we have one of my focus pieces for the year. It was a focus piece this last year. It's going to be a focus piece this next year. There's a good possibility we finish it this year, which is exciting. Probably should have been a little more prepared with the taking things off, but it's okay. Especially with this chair being creaky. So this is World Postage Stamp from Soda Stitch. I started it May 30th, 2018. So it was one of my Mania starts that year. And this is where I'm at. And that's looking pretty good. I think when I started this last year, we were right here in the post box somewhere, finishing it up. So all of this was from having it as a focus piece this year at 500 stitches a piece. 500 stitches every month. So we're in this bottom section. We're at close to the end if you look on the cover photo there. So it's, oh, I still got some of Serengeti to finish. So it's getting close. It's going to stay at 500 stitches a month as a focus piece, and I don't know if it'll make it to the end of the year before it's finished, but that's okay. We'll just swap something else in. All my focus pieces are from the year 2018 and one 2019, I think, because I'm trying to get those older pieces focused on. This is on a 28 count Opal Lugana in Aztec from Under the Sea Fabrics. It is one that dyes very different depending on the fabric. Just so you're aware, if she even still has it in her line, it's one of those. All right. Next is Heartful of Gratitude from Cottage Garden Samplings. This is one of the few that is getting to stay out, even though I'm going to have 2 Cottage Garden Samplings going. I make caveats for 2 of them. For Cottage Garden and for Heaven and Earth. Each of those get to have 2, but it's because one of the 2 has something very specific going on with it, and therefore I gave it different allowances. Anyway, so this is one I would really like to get done this year. This is Heartful of Gratitude from Cottage Garden Samplings. It is on a 32 count Jobelin and Hanami from Under the Sea Fabrics. I do not know if she still has this color available. I felt like it was oddly perfect for this piece, considering the roses and the greenery. So I started this one. Gotta find it. November 4th, 2022. So, and once I get done with this one, I will be adding another of this series to the rotation. So there is Heartful of Gratitude. Next, one of my newer starts. This one I started June 3rd, 2024 with some friends. This is Star Dragon from Alforst Embroidery. I bought the called for threads. Sometimes I do really like Nurges now, so I'm gonna be seeing those a little bit more. And for this one, I needed very little border in order for it to fit. Or maybe I just did that to myself. I don't know. This is on 40 count Verdal in Gold Rush from Bestitch Me Fabrics. Verdal is a 40 count even weave. And this is the start I have on it. The colors are so gorgeous. So, and I did Maleficent because, you know, dragons. It's great. And I knew this was the perfect fabric as soon as I saw it. So I got the Alforest hand dyeds. Had to order them in from Russia. I think they're in Russia. I wish my phone wouldn't keep doing that. gonna have to renew my audiobook. Okay. Next, we have Hummingbird Pixie from Bella Filipina. Oops. I have to figure out what I just threw across the room. This is a newer Q-snap, apparently. It's very tight. This was another one where as soon as I saw the fabric, I knew exactly what I needed to put on it. So, here is Hummingbird Pixie from Bella Filipina. It is on a 32 count opal linen in Anthea from Under the Sea Fabrics. And I have most of her middle there. That's, I think that might be an entire page from top to bottom. Obviously, we're going down into the next page because this is lower than here, but so that is where we are with her. She is going away for this year. I have 3 Bella Filipinas on the go, and so she will be swapped in at some point, maybe. But all right, next. This was my birthday start this year. So I started August 3rd, 2024. And it is on a 28 count opal Lugana from Live and Die LA. And this is Amethyst from Carolyn Manning Designs. So this is the diamonds on about a page and a half going this way. And I'm not sure how far we've gone down yet. We may not have finished the first page going down. And at some point I'll go back in and fill in the other stuff. Or sometimes, like if I need to finish a thread, I'll just go ahead and fill in a color near it. But for the most part, I'm focusing on the diamonds. So we put it on purple. It's a purple design, but it's full coverage. So you're not really going to see the background except around the edges. Put it on a sparkly purple. We got purple needle minders, the Doctor Who TARDIS, and this little butterfly. And I put it in a purple butterfly bag. We went a little crazy. It's my favorite color. And it was my birthday. So that is my start on Amethyst from Carolyn Manning. Oops. Oh, oops. Taking before pictures for the new year. All right, next, this is Ladies Who Lunch from Fox and Rabbit Designs. Ladies Who Lunch from Fox and Rabbit Designs. This is one I thought I might have been able to finish this last year, and then no. So it should be a finish this year at some point for 2025. Okay, here is where we are. This is one that I did not do so well with the placement on the fabric, so I'm going to have a lot of, I could have had a whole, anyway. Here is where it's at. It is on a 32 count Lugana in Elsa from Valkyrie Stitchworks. I don't think she's dyeing fabric right now, but maybe soon. I say that all the time. I keep trying to convince her, but I really like her fabric. So obviously it's going to be all 4 sides the same. So this side needs to look like that side and the bottom needs to look like the top. So you can see about how far away I am. I think if it gets enough attention this year, we'll definitely get there. So I always try and make a little bit of a list of, I think I can finish this within the year. And that's going to go on it. All right, next. This is another one of my full coverages. And it's a big one. I'm going to be working on this one for a while. Had to have the hiccups this morning. Okay. Here is where we're at. Oh, sideways. Here's where we're at. This is Epic Pokemon. I believe on my pattern it says Servatron is the designer, but you can get it from a Pokemon cross-stitch group on Facebook. It's a free design. If you're in the group, let me move that out of the way. And so here's where I'm at. When I grabbed this fabric, it's a 28 count. It's the same stuff that that first one was on. Oh, the Aristocats. When I first grabbed it, I thought I was going to do over 1. And then I defaulted because my brain always does over 2 on 28. And I was like a whole quart, like I had this whole section done. And I was like, wait a minute. That's going to be really big. Luckily, I have plenty of fabric. And it's probably going to use most of it. So this is another reason I don't always trim fabric, because I don't want to mess up. So I know this is at least a couple pages wide already. Maybe even going into the 3rd page somewhere here. I don't know how much further we have to go along the top. Saw the picture. But it's looking pretty good. So that is one I will continue to work on. Next, we have growth rings from Ink Circles. The cleanup after this video is just going to be so much fun. And I still have 2 more videos to make. I don't know if they'll get made today. Today is the 31st of December. It's the last day of the year, and I wanted to get at least one of these videos in, but not more than one. But this stuff takes time, and I have limited time. So here is Ink Circles from, or Growth Rings by Ink Circles. And it is, the entire right side is done. I'm starting to move into the left side to fill in. It's one of my focus, it became one of my focus pieces in November after I finished one of my focus pieces. And it'll continue into the next year. So this is going to get 200 stitches every month. I know that's barely going to make a dent in it, but I tried to make all my goals different, and I'll explain that more in my planning video, but you're going to see this one every month all year. So hopefully we start to see some progress. This is the one that is from 2019, and it is on a 32 count linen in Hecate from Under the Sea Fabrics. In fact, I think I got this from Jessie. She said those colors are just not going to go with anything I stitch. So she sent it to me. And then I just chose 2 colors to go on it. Like I went to the store and I went to LNS and I went to the fabric or the floss wall and I said, what can I put on this? And I ended up with Golden Star and something else that's not in here. Where are the flosses for this thing? Oh, they're in this. Nope, that's not it either. Well, there it is. Golden Star and I folded the wrong way. Sunflower. Golden Star and Sunflower are the 2 colors. There we go. All right. Whew. That was scary for a minute there. All right, this is another one that's been in hibernation for a little bit. It's coming out this next year. And this is Fairy Tale Lands 1 from Soda Stitch. And it is on a 32 count linen in opal linen in Iced Grapes from Under the Sea Fabrics. And so I have most of Hansel and Gretel. Obviously Gretel's not all there. The house needs to be done. So this is where I'll start. This is going to be a focus piece. We're going to do one motif a month. And I think most of Pinocchio's done. It's kind of hiding behind some flosses there. Geppetto. So that's going to be a focus piece that we're going to start seeing every month. Yay. Where did the bag fit? Oh, there it is. Ooh, don't spill all the flosses everywhere. All right, next, we're about halfway done, 30 minutes, that's not bad. This is Spangled from Long Dog Samplers. This one is a high focus piece this year, and what I mean is it's got a monthly goal, plus I'm going to try and fit it in to my categories every month so that we can get the finish soon, or this year. Now, I'm not making myself get the finish this year. Like, we haven't divided it up specifically for that. But I think it's possible I think it's possible. So we'll just play it by ear. All right. So here is Spangled from Long Dog Sampler. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Fairy Tale Land. Oh, Growth Rings, Epic Pokemon. Oh my goodness. Epic Pokemon I started September 23rd, 2020. Growth Rings, I told you was my 2019 project. It's May 2nd. Fairy Tale Lands 1 was May 21st, 2018. And Spangled is September 24th, 2018. I started this with a couple friends. Stitching May, Belinda Aussie Stitcher, Lisa. There was a few of us. So it was a focus piece this year. I divided 20 stitches high by the entire page. So as you can see, I got the first column of pages. And so 20 stitches high. So like, I think we started up here like January, February, March, April, May, June. This was September, I know. And then October, November, and December. So we're going to keep that going. And it's going to finish us up right around here, I think, in December. So that's just a little bit over here and a few down here. So whenever I fit it into categories, we'll work on this side and try and come around and meet up with it. So we'll see how that goes. But here is where it is. It is on a 28 count Lugana in Ophelia from Under the Sea Fabrics. I need to do something about that side because it is falling apart. Okay. Next is my other cottage garden samplings that is staying out for this year, and that is because it is going to be my Sal. Y'all are going to hear some redundancy when you watch my planning video, but that's okay. Maybe some people don't watch it right. I have so many Q-snaps now. All right. So here is where I'm at. This is Trick or Treat from Cottage Garden Samplings. And I started this September 18th, 2022. And so I have these 5 blocks done. And you can see I've touched in a few of these. I'm going to divide each of these blocks into 3. And then, so this one will definitely be finished in December, not before. And not after. We're going to get it done. So I'm going to divide each of those remaining blocks into 3 and work on it every single month. It is on a 32 count Lugana in Hestia from Under the Sea Fabrics. It's really pretty orange. So look forward to seeing that a whole lot. I know we saw it a lot in November because that's when it got a lot of stitching thanks to, was it Great British Bake Off, I think. All right, next we have Moonlight Sampler from the Blue Flower. I'm gonna have to put these all back on later, but I want to get before pictures for the year. So. All right, so this one I actually started at the bottom, which is a little bit different, but here we are. This is Moonlight Sampler from the Blue Flower. It is on a 40 count Verdal in Whisper from Dreamerbug Creations. My daughter is not dyeing fabric right now, but she did an amazing job on this purple gray, and everything looks great on it. I love this project. So that is where it's at. Look at these. I know it's been in the Q snap, so look at the little, we got a hedgehog, a quokka, not a quokka. What is this thing called? I already forgot. I know it. Anyway, sloth, bat, beaver. So I can't wait to work on that one some more. I'm going to say that on everything. Don't play a drinking game. You won't survive. All right. Next. This is Gift of Giving from Little Stitch Girl. Pile over here, y'all. I'm only taking 24 projects. 24, I think, once I put Fairy Tale Lands 2 or 1 back on there. Into the new year with me. But still, that makes quite a pile. I will hopefully show y'all when it's done if it doesn't capsize on me. All right, this is one I think I can get done this year, and I really want to. So this is Gift of Giving from Little Stitch Girl, and it is on a 32 count Lugana in Diversity from Mystic Fabrics. So that tree is a lot. And down at the bottom, we've got like Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus, reindeer, elf. So those characters are gonna take me a minute, but I do think we'll get this finished this year. I have most of the top here of the saying. So yeah, look forward to that some more. The fact that I didn't get to stitch on that at Christmas time at all is kind of crazy, but I was so focused on finish that stitch December that I did not get to it. Oh, Gift of Giving. I started that November 5th, 2022. So. All right, this next one was one of my favorites this year, but it is not coming into the new year. Darn me and my own rules. But there's a reason. So this is Mad Tea Party from Bella Filipina. And it is on the most beautiful fabric ever. And like, this is not my typical favorite color, but it works so well for this that I just fell in love with it. This is a 32 count Jobelin in Eudore from Under the Sea Fabrics. And that's where I got to this year. I started her on November 19th, 2023. And she's so good. So good. So I have 3 Bella Filipinas. Y'all saw Hummingbird Fairy. There's Mad Tea Party, and then Soul Tropica. Soul Tropica is the oldest of the 3. So it's the one I chose to start the new year with. I also think I can finish it, and then this one will get pulled out. There's other caveats, but I do think it's finishable. So, not this one, Soul Tropica. But I love this one, so hopefully I get to see it again this year. We'll see. I'm going to put it in here. Oh, it's noon. And put it over there. All right. Next is I love how the dogs start going off whenever the noon alarm goes off. It's like the midnight or the Twilight Howl or whatever from the 101 Dalmatians. They're all going off out there. All right. Not my dogs, just neighborhood dogs. This is Garden Prelude from Mirabilia. Oh my goodness. It just, you know, I work on it all year, so it kind of stays wrapped up. All right. So here's where I'm at. Whole lot of skirt. She was a focus piece. Not this year, last year. Right? Was it this year? No, it was last year. I put 500 stitches into her every month to get a good chunk of that skirt. She didn't get as much attention this year. Actually only getting 3,000 stitches, but yeah. This is on 32 count Lugana in Twilight Meadows from Sunny Dyes Fabrics. They don't dye fabric anymore. I thought this one was perfect for this. But in doing that, so that the flowers set right on the top of what could be a hill behind her, and so I don't have to do the arches, I didn't get a lot of room there at the bottom. So we are playing finicky, but the Nerge really helps with that. So here's where we're at. She is going away. She is not my oldest, or she is my oldest Mirabilia. So this is where the caveat is a little different. She's my oldest, so technically she should be the one I choose for next year. However, I have two that are closer to being finished. And so I thought about putting them up first so that we're clearing space, right? So we don't have to continue to do this swapping thing for years to come. So she is getting put up for a little bit. Just because she has so much more to go. All right. Next, this is Shangra from Kesselin Designs. Start putting those there because they're getting a little too built up. All right, here's how it goes. Oh, Garden Prelude. Garden Prelude was my birthday start in 2020. So this is Shangra from Kesselin Designs. It is, I started this one September 29th, 2020. And I don't have the tag on here. It is on a 40 count Wexford linen in Ash Rose from Silk Weaver. I bought it when I was in New Jersey for the New Jersey Stitching Retreat. Or New Jersey Flosstube Retreat. I think they've changed it to Stitching Retreat. So, this one has the most, this one gets the award for most mistakes that I have fudged. Because I was not pulling out 1/2 on 40 count, that many stitch. No, we have worked, and I bet you can't even tell. So this one's a big one, but I do think it's a possibility for being finished in 2025. If it gets the right amount of attention, we'll see. So there is Shangra. It's also one I don't really enjoy stitching on. I don't know why. I really hope that wasn't important. Okay. 1 second, let me check something. I think that was a spam call, but it just says unknown. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Next, we have Lilith of Labrador. This is their Mirabilia. It might be a Nora Corbett. I don't know. I really don't differentiate all that much. I mean, because we all know it's the same person. She's also the person that doesn't want my money anymore, so there's that. Her words. Here we go. So here is where Lilith got. This is, I started this January 5th, 2023. It was a birthday start with my friend Vicky over at Reading and Stitching, who loves a good pretty lady. So this, and she is on a 32 count Jobelin and Kelpie from Under the Sea Fabrics, which I knew as soon as I got this one, and I've had this fabric for a while. I knew as soon as I got it, it was going to have to be a mermaid. It was just deep water, beautiful. And so with the amount of progress I've made on Lilith this year, I think she is highly finishable. So she is the one I am starting 2025 off with in my memorabilia section. I do have another piece that is probably just as close, but between the two, I wanted to work on this one first. And that's the thing. I make rules that I can break and be okay with it. Ooh. We're not going to make it. Nope. I need 3 hands. All right, we've got 4 more projects, 5 more projects, 6 more. No, I'm just kidding. There's only 5. No, I'm just kidding. There's like more than that. Anyway, moving on. This is Family Patchwork. It was the 2020 Modern Folk Embroidery Stitch Along. The way Modern Folk Embroidery does it is you get to see the entire thing, and then they send it to you monthly in divided parts. I thought this one was gorgeous, but out of my wheelhouse, not something I typically would have stitched. And so I was like, ooh, let me try that. And then I did not keep up with it, obviously, and struggle with it sometimes because of the floss. I'm doing it in a Silks For You floss. I don't remember the number. And if you look at the picture on Silks For You, it's not going to look anything like this. This red came out way more pink than like it looks on Silks For You. But anyway, it's my first time working with Silks For You, and so I was constantly overthinking how I was placing for a while. And then once I got past that, it started going much faster. So here is where I've gotten to. Oh, this is on a 32 count Lugana. An Autumn Sunset, I think is called. It was a Silk Weavers. I bought a bunch of while I was there because it kept drawing me in. It was the most beautiful fabric ever. And so I did January, April, July, October? I don't know. So it went across the top, January, February, over like that. And then I did, so 12 would have been 3, maybe January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. I thought this was September though. Anyway, so here is where we're at. And I think the colors are absolutely gorgeous. I was overthinking it there for a while, and it really, in fact, I still need to pull this one out because it was part of Big Brother and I haven't finished stitching on it, but you know, whenever it comes out, it's fine. So that is Family Patchwork from Modern Folk Embroidery. I started it February 7th, 2020. Because like I said, I was gonna keep up with the sale. All right, next we have Miss Christmas Eve. Now I'm pretty sure this one's Aurora, but I'm I write it down as Mirabilia, so who knows? Who knows? This one too is a Wexford linen, I think. I'm not sure because the things come off. Okay, so this is Miss Christmas Eve from Mirabilia. This is the other one I told. Oh, it is right there. Wexford linen, 32 count from Silk Weaver in coral crystals. This was the other one I said I think I could definitely finish, but I like Lilith more. This one and I have had some go-rounds. I just finished with a big frog and restitch on this one literally this month. So she'll come out if I finish Lilith, when I finish Lilith, and or other ways and stuff. So here is Miss Christmas Eve. She's really pretty, but she does have quite a bit more to go on that skirt. It's not like it's super close to a finish, but it's definitely closer than Garden Prelude or Angel of the New Dawn. So it is going away for a little bit. Next is the Bella Filipina that is sticking around for the year. I don't know where to put stuff anymore. It's all gonna fall. Oh, down there. Let's just do that. Now that the crate's almost empty, we can just fill it up with Q-snips. All right, so here is Sol Tropica from Bella Filipina. And I have, outside of beads, I have 2 pages done. Or, no, just kidding. I have 1 page done. We've got a good section of this page, but we got to do around the top and then some other stuff. But we're getting there. We're almost halfway through the project. So that's why I think I can get her finished. We've just got a bunch of tail down there. And then we're good to go. What did we just... Miss Christmas Eve. Started November 29th, 2020. This is Sol Tropica. I started it November 24th, 2022 for my friend Vic over at StitchNButton. It was her birthday. We all started Bella's. She started Luna Mystica and I started Sol Tropica. They're kind of like sister projects. I do have Luna Mystica, but I got to get through some of these other ones first. This is 32 count Opal Lugana in Sea God from Undersea Fabrics. This, I was at a retreat. I bought, and I let Lexi pick the pattern, the fabric, everything. So this is her project. I'm just stitching it. I think she even said, Mom, stitch this for me. And I said, okay, go pick out some fabric. Because we were at Leslie from Undersea Fabric. We were at her shop there in San Antonio. I mean, we were at the retreat, but we went over to the shop. Let me take that needle out of there. Do it in a minute. All right. Next. This is another one that is going inactive for the year. And this is Dark Queen of the Earth from Autumn Lane Stitchery and Under the Sea Fabrics. I'm so amped to see what they bring us next. I want to say it's this year we're supposed to get a new one. They might have said 2026. I don't know. They're taking their precious time getting these ones out. So I showed y'all Sea earlier, and this one's Earth. I think we're supposed to get Wind and Fire. No. Yeah. Water, Earth, Wind, Fire. Yeah, I think so. All right. So here's where I'm at on this one. It's on the called for fabric, Nightshade from Undersea Fabrics. It is a 32 count linen because sometimes linen just dies, right? It just dies better than Lugana, Joblin. And so I have to sacrifice for the color. For the good of all. Let's see, Dark Queen. I started this one September 30th, 2022. So, looks good. So it is going away for a little bit. All right, now for one of my full coverages. This is, okay, so I told you that 2 Hades made it. This one is because it is my oldest WIP and is therefore going to be a focus piece. One of my focus monthlies. I'm going to get 600 stitches a month on it. Which this last year, it was getting stitches 100. It was getting a daily 100 while I was at home every other week all year. So getting 600 a month wasn't too much of a trouble, but I don't think I'm going to be doing that this year. So it's going to have to find some other time to get worked on. So here is Mini Phantom of the Masquerade from Heaven and Earth Designs. The artist is Melissa Dawn. And I almost have, we've almost finished the second column. I have this much more. So, and then we just have one more column. This one needs 27,000 stitches left, I think. It's in the 65 to 8% area I've done. Well, when I'm done here, I think it's 66. So anyway, so it's looking really good. And it's going to stay a focus piece. And we are going to finish this one in 2026. But I decided to make the other full coverage project a focus for this year. Can I help you?
No, I'm tripped here.
I'm recording.
Sorry.
I'm just telling you. So, that is a focus for, well, yeah, a focus piece for this year. Okay, so I have buried the last 2 projects. We'll see if we can get them out without having an avalanche. All right, so next, this is actually one I was working on last night and I need to work on more today. So that's why it was on the table ready to be buried. And that is Aurora from RETM. This is another one I think I can get finished this year. What was the last one? Dark Queen. I told you that. Okay. Aurora. I started this June 17th, 2022 at retreat with my friend Vicky over at Reading and Stitching. I think she started Cinderella and I started Aurora. So I have a good portion done. That's the bottom of the project down here. I need something to keep it stabilized. I got to the bottom of the project last night, actually. And so this is on a 32 count Jobelin from Undersea Fabrics. No, this is from Mystic Fabrics. Can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Oh, look, can I look it up here? Hold, please. Aurora. I have it in my notions. I know I do. I Descent from Mystic Fabrics. And it was just too perfect because the pink and the green remind me of Maleficent. I don't know why. It's just inky like that. I do have a Maleficent. Her and then her dragon form needle minder, and that's her right there. So that is Aurora, and I actually need to work on it more today, so it's gonna have to stay somewhere that I can find it. All right, and lastly, last project is my full coverage focus for this year. And when I say focus, I mean focus. I am going to finish this project this year. Fingers crossed. It's going to take a lot. I'm going to have to put in 700 stitches a week for the entire year. Well, it's 650 stitches a week for the entire year, but if I do 7, that gives me a little bit of leniency. this project is currently like, I don't know, 55% done. And yes, I realized that Phantom could be finished a lot quicker and easier, but this one is a gift for someone, and I think they'd really like to have it. So I'm going to finish it this year. As you can see, it's got quite a bit to go. I'm going to try and pull a Jessie and just get it. Just get it like she does. So here's where we're at. We've been working this. She's actually my focus this week. So, well, because I was working on her every other week all year this year, but that's going to change. She's going to be all the time. So I finished that block right there last night. So she's looking good. And these lines that you're seeing are from my Q-snap. They'll go away. They're not the edge of the page. They're from being folded to be in my Q-snap. But I wonder almost if I could put her on a bigger Q-snap. Ooh, y'all. Or not Q-snap, Nerge. I may be able to put her on the Nerge and be able to see, because this needle right here is the bottom. So I'll lose a little bit at the top, but for the most part, we can have it all in there. I think I may have to do that. All right. Let's just drop everything. All right, so this is Mini Alice in a Dolly Dream from Jasmine Beckett Griffith, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I started this one in June of 2018. June 21st, 2018. I was inspired to do this one by Jessie over at Jessie Marie Does Stuff. She's doing the full-size one. I chose the mini. It typically is not my type of aesthetic, but she really intrigued me with it. And then I asked my sister, I was like, do you think you'd want... I actually had her pick between a couple different ones, but she picked this one. I had Jessie, back when she was kitting up Hades, kit it up for me, and then we got together at StitchCon and I started it. So, and she sent me this needle minder that has the cover photo on it, so I can see what it's supposed to look like all the time. It's great. So that is that. All right, so that, I believe, let me just do a quick, I think that's everything on my WIP list. Yep. So that is it for me. Thank you so much for joining me. We're just over an hour, so I don't think that's horrible. I am going to clean up, get pictures of all this stuff taken, and then I'll come back to you. I have a finish parade. I have a planning video, all that should be coming to you in the next couple days. I may record them all today and put them out over the course of the week, or I may have to record them over the course of the week. We'll see how it goes. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you saw something that you'd like to watch me stitch throughout the year and keeps you coming back for more. If you're a returning friend and subscriber, thank you so much for coming back week after week. Thank you for joining me for my WIP Parade. It was a wonderful 2024, and I'm hoping for an even better 2025, because we always have to have a positive outlook and look for the next year to be even better than the year before. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing, commenting, all the ways that you show you love me, and I'll see y'all in the next video.